Back in session, and we're set up for some a demonstration here today. I want everybody to pay close attention to this in case I need you along the way. So I'll turn it over to Stephen.
All right. I want to have David give you guys a map. It was mentioned earlier about the article that Dr. Bright and Mr. Adams put out in the newspaper about our response times and all that. One reason why we plan on starting this program was to get people more motivated and trained out in the field to help out. Not necessarily us out, but to help friends and family. You don't have to be certified in CPR. You can do hands-only. The hands-only part, we don't teach breathing or none of the stuff that we have to go through, none of the advanced stuff, just basic compressions. The flyer that we got that we do for the rescue squad, we started it there. We've had 3 training sessions through the squad, 2 at our building and our annual barbecue, 1 for Glade Creek Fire Department at their Mother's Day breakfast. And so far with 3 trainings, we've trained 11 folks, which I know don't sound like a lot, but to me that's 11 more people we've got that's going to help us, help somebody else potentially. A lot of folks ask why it's important. 70% of cardiac arrest happens in the home, your home. More than likely CPR that you're going to perform is going to be performed on a family member or some other loved one. Sudden cardiac arrest, 3rd leading cause of death in the United States. Survival rates have not changed in 30 years. We're getting a little bit better. 2014 American Heart Association statistics for North Carolina, we had a 7.9% success rate. 2013 we were only right at higher less than 5%. So we've improved a little bit as far as the state. 80% of these victims are going to die before they reach the hospital with no intervention. It is a national public health crisis, and out of hospital deaths, as far as cardiac arrest, more deaths annually than lung cancer, breast cancer, stroke, and AIDS all combined. So again, in our hands-only program, breathing is not taught. All we focus on is compression. You notice somebody go unresponsive, where you find them go unresponsive, you got to get them on a hard surface, if at all possible. Limit interruptions in compressions. Call 911, get us coming, and then just start dead center of the chest, hard and fast, at least 2 inches deep, and don't stop until somebody gets there to help you out or you've exhausted all efforts. Got to push at least 100 times a minute. We use the flyer, Staying Alive, the song by the Bee Gees. If you can keep that tune in your head, that's what they're teaching as far as the method or whatever. I forgot what I was going to say. The compression rate, the tune of that song, you get that in your head, and you can push 100 times a minute. So now we're going to ask you guys, as far as, and I should have done it first, but I do appreciate you guys letting this come out, the support we've had from Mr. Adams as far as getting this program up and running. I do think it'll make a difference with time. And hopefully on the county side, rescue squad, we do all the medical standbys for football games, stuff like that. So it's been taught that hopefully once we get this up and going, we've got mannequins ordered. These actually are the rescue squads, but the county's got some coming. And then at the football games, we can have the county truck there, back up as well as needed, but start doing this at other functions. Do the thing at the park or whatever. Anybody need it, any county department if they want it. As long as I'm fitting the schedule, I'll be glad to go out and help them do whatever and get more folks trained. So that's your turn.
Yeah.
And also for the public's knowledge, we're willing to come out to church functions, community functions, anything like that. At my church, we're fortunate enough to have about 7 first responders on fire departments and rescue squad and so on and so forth that are members of our church. So they've actually approached me to come out and do hands-on CPR after church service one day. And they're also wanting to purchase an AED, which is another big step to survivability. So if anybody's interested in learning it at church or what have you, contact us and we'll be more than willing to do what we can to come out and help you train.
Well, that's just great. Hopefully this will help get the word out a little bit.
Yep.
And I forgot the map, the whole purpose of the program was the map. The little red X in the middle of the map, and I know it's harder to see, is actually Linda's house.
That's not in the middle, it's 3 miles out.
3 miles out from center of town or from our base.
Yeah, from the center of town.
3 miles by the way to Crouse life, they say, but it's a lot longer than that driving in an ambulance. So if you live outside that 3 mile mark on the map, then it's gonna be longer response time. You got the sudden arrest, you need CPR initiated within 10 minutes. Every minute after 10, chance of survivability decreases 10% with every minute. So at 15 minutes from onset, you've got a 50% chance of survival. At 20 minutes, you have 0% statistically. So that's one reason why, with the construction on 21 going to Glade Creek and Cherry Lane, we're already behind. And that's out of our control. I mean, we do the best we can do. We got numbers to call those guys and say, hey, we're coming, and they help us out most of the time, shut the road down and let us through. But just the way the county is so rural, it does take us a little longer sometimes to get out to our farther citizens.
So our chain of survival then is early recognition, early CPR, and early defibrillation. That increases your chances of survival exponentially. And with the 10-minute thing, after the 10 minutes doing without oxygen, and that's the whole thing about the hands-on with CPR, is because your blood that's in your system is under pressure. And what we want to accomplish is that we compress the heart just as it it would function efficiently as it beats normally, but that we compress the heart to cause the blood to flow and circulate to keep the pressure up. And in your system, there is residual oxygen that is left over. Your body does not use all the oxygen that is brought into its system, so there is a little bit of residual left over. So with the hands-on the CPR, it brings your pressure up, it circulates the blood, it keeps the oxygen flowing to your brain and your vital organs so that your chance of survival is greater.
And I think one of the key things, the message that we want to send to the community is with hands only, and hopefully we can get everybody to participate, it is not a complicated process, right? I mean,
It's simple.
It's a simple process that if you would take 10 minutes of your time to learn, you may be able to save a family member's life or somebody in your community or somebody in your church. And it really is a small amount of time for you to learn as a citizen of our county to help your own family or help your.
Compared to full-on CPR training, how long what kind of time span?
As far as the hands-on training,
No, the full training.
we got to go to the American Heart Association. It's called a healthcare provider course. And an initial course is 8 hours. And then we have to renew every 2 years, which is a 4-hour class. And this we can do in 15 minutes.
This, you don't get any certification, but you have the knowledge, which is the main thing.
Okay? So,
They are inviting you.
you want us at this time?
If you're willing, we're willing. Let's show you how to do it.
Be tender with us. Okay.
Well, I'm here. I think Mr. Adams wants you on the outside of the table. If somebody goes, like I said, sudden cardiac arrest, you see them fall or you come into the room, obviously they don't have a pulse. We don't worry about breathing or not. If they don't have a pulse, hand dead center in the chest and push down at least 2 inches deep. Hard and fast, at least 100 times a minute. Like I said, if you can use the beat staying alive, if you can remember that in your head as you're doing it. Right dead center of the chest. Yep.
Right dead center.
Hand
to the side.
There you go.
And the center of the chest from here to here. And just in there and right there you go. And just hard and fast.
Yeah.
Now, this is for an adult.
For an adult or child over 8 years old.
The weight doesn't matter.
No, it's the same thing, still 2 inches deep, 100 and
Turn it up.
just hard enough to go that 2 inches. Everybody's gonna be different.
About 2.
2 inches deep, yes, sir.
And we try to do stuff on 2-minute cycles. After about 2 minutes of doing this, you're pretty tired. So you want to get somebody else in line and then just take over and just go right inside.
That doesn't matter. Left or right.
No, it don't matter, all we focusing on
I
is
just look at the
this.
heart.
Right.
This far, yeah.
Bob, we got a camera?
And it's a, you
That's a whole lot
may
easier.
feel a real break,
Here,
it's going
yeah.
up, just pay no attention to it, and carry it right on.
We can, yeah, rib break.
5 and 10 breathe.
You know, they can fix that. We can fix that. It'll heal on its own, but
We can fix
That's
ribs, we
easy.
can give antibiotics, and everything is okay. If they survive, then we're doing our job.
Now, when do you know to quit? When they open their eyes?
Somebody shows up.
you'll see if they get what we call ROSC, a return of spontaneous circulation, they'll start getting, you know, they're gonna be pale, not this pale, but they're gonna, you know, lose color, so they're gonna have return of normal color, 1 pink dry, we call it. Obviously, you'll feel a pulse, and some of them may start moving around, have active movement.
Then quit.
Then quit, yeah.
1 month.
Is a human body harder than this?
No, it is.
No.
In my personal opinion, it's a whole lot harder to do it on these, especially these, because they're brand new.
Yes.
So we've only had 11 people use them, so. It is easier, and that sounds,
Normally,
A little
that
bit, yeah.
stands to reason for anything that we do with a mannequin is they're not as pliable as a human being. And it is more difficult for this, but if you can learn on this, you'll have no problem.
And just basically use the heel of your hand?
Yes.
yeah,
So the heart is over to the side. Why?
more to the
Yeah,
left. hand.
actually, your heart is going to be in this area right here.
Okay.
So when you go to the center of the chest, you're compressing the heart between the sternum and the spine, and that keeps the blood flowing. We call it bad if the air quits going in and out and the blood quits going round and round. So we want the blood to continue to go round and round.
So if you're pressing on the center, you're just pushing away.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you do it on the input now?
Learning something.
They don't teach hands-on on it, but it's the same concept. It's only, it's 1.5 inches deep, and you just use 2 fingers instead of palm of your hand. Yeah.
I hang around Don Adams a lot. I'd like for him to.
You had the benefit of the microphone.
In Don's defense, I've seen him do this up at our open house 1 year. He's already trained up and ready to go.
I don't know if he's much, he got a disco beat to that.
But you can play your song.
Okay.
I'll race you.
You mentioned something about a rib break, and I was busy trying to keep this one alive.
I'm not gonna say that. But that's it.
And you may feel it pop, or you may feel it pop.
Yeah, you can, or you got to, you go low.
But if you're not,
You can.
staying alive is the main thing. That's what we're after, stay alive.
Yep.
Come on through.
Yeah, we will,
Yeah,
in this part.
All right, so you got me after.
I feel that.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Please, thank you.
Sir.
8 years ago.
Thank you, Brent.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir, a child over, yes, sir, thank you. Over 8 years old, and then, of course, any adult.
And what about a baby, or 8 years?
They don't teach
young?
hands only on infants. You know, of course, they teach it in our end of it, but you just use your 2 fingers instead of palm of your
Yeah, in
hand.
the center of the chest.
Yeah,
2
and
fingers
it's still
in the center of the chest.
100 a minute, but you only push 1.5 inches.
100 a minute?
Yep.
Yes, at least 100 minutes.
Okay,
Sir,
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys so much. County reports.
Get that song.
We offered a CPR course